Hello there, and hello from Arthur as well. He'll probably disappear at some point, he doesn't stay very long. Welcome back to St Vincent's. You might be wondering what on earth I am doing here today. We're going to have a little bit of a practical session. Next Sunday is Palm Sunday, and one of the Catholic traditions on Palm Sunday is that we receive blessed palm branches and crosses that we can keep in our homes throughout the year. Obviously, we're not going to be able to do that this year. We do have the palm branches here at St Vincent's, and I will be blessing them at Mass next Sunday, but we can't give them out yet. But they will be kept, and once we can come back to church, you will be able to collect your palm branch for this coming year. I told you he'd head off in a minute. He's just going to lie down quietly, hopefully. I thought that it might be quite fun for us to do something else instead this year. There's a lot of people suggesting that we're using this time at home in order to develop new skills, in order to try new things. And one of the things that I like doing, it's something I started years ago, is origami, paper folding. And it suddenly thought, well, hang on a minute, if we can't get our palm branches and we're going to try new skills and new talents, why not? Let's make our own palm crosses. Let's do a little bit of practical religious origami for Holy Week. So, I'm going to try and show you how, with hopefully just things you should have at home, no need to go and buy anything, how you can make yourself a DIY palm cross to use for now until we can get our real ones. So, what do you need? A ruler, but that's not really necessary. A pen, but that's not really necessary either. Some sellotape, though we can even do without that. A pair of scissors and some paper. Now, I'm just using ordinary sheets of A4. If you've got any craft card at home, that's the best because it gives a bit more resilience. But if you haven't, any sheet of paper, any colour you like will do. It's just the thinner the paper, the more careful you have to be and the fiddlery it can be. So, I'm going to start off with just a piece of craft paper, ordinary A4. Now, the first thing we have to do is to actually turn this into a palm branch. Now, you could just cut a single strip along this, but that would be rather small and you'd end up with a palm cross about yay big. So we need to turn this into a longer palm branch. It's not difficult, it's quite easy. This is where the pen and the ruler come in. What you have to do is to actually mark out the width of your palm cross. And the way you do it is, along the edge there, just decide how wide your palm is going to be, perhaps a centimetre or a little bit more. And then mark a line, starting at one end, but ending about an inch from the other side of the paper. So just like that, okay? Then move your ruler down and create another line, the same width, but this time starting at the end where you left the gap. And this time you leave the gap on the other side. Again, about an inch. Okay. Move the ruler down again, it's the same width, and this time you want to draw a line across the whole of the paper. Okay, so that's it for the ruler and the pen. They're done now. So what you should have is a sheet of paper with these three lines on, two of them not reaching the edges. Next thing to do, get your scissors and basically cut along your lines, remembering to leave those gaps. So please feel free to go and put the kettle on while I'm doing this. There we go. That we don't need, we can discard that. What we've got left here is this funny little Z-shaped piece of paper. And we turn this into our palm branch. It's very simple. All you do is, along that first gap, just fold over. So you're lining the two pieces up, and then fold up. And then the same with the next one. First of all, fold it over, and then take the loose bit and fold it up. Sorry, that's my email pinging. I do apologise for that. I should have turned it off before I started. So let me just show you that again. So you start off with your flat 3 connected strips, fold it over and fold it up, fold it over and fold it up. So you see what we've got here now is a nice long strip. It's a bit wobbly, it's not ideal, and you might want to now, if you've got a bit of sellotape, just reinforce those little folds. All it takes is a little bit of tape, not too much, and just put it across the fold, the join, just to stabilise it. First do one side, then do the other. Over we go. Last one. There we go. So now we've got a nice long palm branch. You might want to tidy it up a little bit. I don't know if you can see here, it's a little bit irregular. Just get your scissors and just trim off any loose bits like that to make it nice and smooth. There we go. The same here at the top. Clear away the other bits, and that's it for the scissors now and the sellotape. We don't need them anymore. Now it's just paper folding. Okay, so this is the sort of palm branch that you would get when you come to church. How do we turn this into a cross? There are loads of ways of doing this. I remember my dad was one of those people who knew how to do it, and after the Palm Sunday Mass there'd always be a crowd of people around him saying, show us how to do it, show us how to do it. And I can remember him teaching me. I'm not going to use his method because with paper it's a little bit different. I'm going to use a proper origami method, a paper folding method that respects the materials that we're dealing with. We are going to have to cheat at some point, so it might be worth actually keeping the scissors to one side because we may need them in a moment. Now, one of the problems now is that this is the wrong way around. I'm facing you, so when I'm doing this you'll have to do your best to try and follow this by, as it were, imagining looking over my shoulder. I'll try and turn around and show you what I'm doing as I'm doing it, so hopefully this will work. Okay, your first move, that's the bottom, that's the top. Okay, your first move is to create the arms of the cross, and you're going to do that with this bit at the top. Just above that fold, remember we've got our two folds that we made our long branch with. Just above that one, what you need to do is to bring this arm across like that. Let me just show you that again. So you've put your finger just on that first fold and bring the arm over to this side, okay? Try and make it nice and straight, a nice right angle, and just press that down. So now you should have the long part at the bottom there, and you've folded this across. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to make a knot up here at the very centre of the cross. In order to do that, we have to take this arm that we've just folded, and we're going to fold it underneath and back over again. Okay, simple as that. So try and make nice square cuts. Don't make it too tight because we've got to pass things through this. So fold it behind and then fold it across again. So we've made like a big loop. Try and make everything line up nicely and press everything nice and flat. So we've now got this big upside down L shape. Right. What we did, just to take you through it again, we folded down to make that upside down L, and then we pass the arm round the back and over the front. Okay. Now, the next bit is one of the trickiest bits. We're going to make both sides of the cross, the two arms of the cross. And we're going to use this bit here, but the way we do it is we take it round and make a circle. So keep one finger on our centre and just place it there like that. So I don't know if you can see that. We've made a big circle. Okay. Now the next thing we've got to do is flatten that circle out, making sure that the join is in the middle and that the arms are equal length. So just squish it down like that, and there you can see we've got the top of our cross. Okay. So let me just take you through that again. Remember we had the L shape, bring it round into a loop, hold it in the centre, squish it down to make the arms of your cross. Okay. Now, That's all dead straightforward, but it's still going to fall to pieces. So what we've got to do is we have to lock this in place. So you take the arm that you've just made, okay, and basically you just flip it over, okay. Just fold all of that, including your knot, over once, and you'll see a little square appears at the front. Okay, so turn it over just the once to make that, and this is where we lock the whole cross in place. This is where we need to take the bottom, and this is where you have to do a little bit of threading. We thread the bottom through that gap that we've just made there. I'll lift this up so you can actually hopefully see. That bit that you've just folded over, there's a little envelope-like slot there. So you take the bottom of the cross, you slide it into that little gap, and then pass it through the other side. Okay, let me show you that again. You take the bottom of the cross, you find your little envelope, you slide it, whoops, slide it through. Okay. Now, take that, pull it all the way through, till you can push it completely tight into that knot. Might be a bit fiddly, especially if, like me, that fold you made earlier is in exactly the wrong position. But try and lock it down so that the whole thing is knotted in place. And that's what makes it solid. Okay. The next thing that we need to do is we need to bring it down again on the front. And again, you'll find a little envelope that you can thread it through. So take the end of the cross, thread it through, and bring it down. But this time, we're not going to go all the way down, because this time we're going to make the top of the cross. So what you need to do is you need to stop when it's going to be level with the arms, squish it down, and there we have our cross. Now, just to tidy things up, you might want to actually take this bottom end, pass it up the back, and slot it in place. Squish it down, and there we go. One DIY palm cross for Palm Sunday. I'm going to show you again, because I'm going to set myself a challenge. I've not tried this, so this might go wrong. That folding to give you a long piece of paper to make that, you can actually do it just with a thin strip of smaller paper, but you have to make it a lot thinner. So if I just cut a single slice off this A4, and let's try making a miniature palm cross. So ta-da! There's a lot you can do with that. There's actually some amazing work done with weaving and folding palms. I did buy something for us at church for Palm Sunday. I'd like to say, you know, in the Blue Peter tradition, here's one I made earlier, but I'm afraid I didn't. I bought this. But this shows you just what amazing things can be done by people weaving palm branches. Have a look on YouTube. Not just for folding palm crosses or weaving palms, but origami, paper folding, is a wonderful, relaxing activity. And all you need is paper. So have a go at making your own DIY paper palm crosses for Palm Sunday, and call back in again to our YouTube channel soon for perhaps some more ideas as to how we can make Holy Week, Holy Week. Stay safe, keep well, God bless, see you soon.